What's up guys? Today I got a very special video for you guys. So, as you can see, we are not working on one of Adam's drift cars today. In fact, we're working on a very different project. This time, the iconic EVO 5. This is a really awesome car, something you don't see every day. Actually, you really don't see every day because I don't even know how many of these have on the road.
When did you get here?
I've been here since like 10?
Did you put like a quiet muffler on your car? I didn't hear you at all.
Really? I even opened the garage like three times getting stuff from the car.
Hey, if you're stopping Chipotle on the way over, can you give me some food? And I look outside like, oh crap, he's here.
You did?
Yeah. No, like literally right now.
Oh. No, I've been here.
Sick. How's everything going?
Good, I'm just like starting the video. Alright, getting back to where we were. This is a 1998 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5. So this is the 5th generation Lancer. It's a really awesome car. I never been able to work on one of these before, and let me tell you, this thing is amazing. I almost like it more than the EVO 8 or 9, even though that's what I used to work on back in the day, making fast EVO 8s and EVO 9s. This is pretty much like the same thing, but just an older chassis. Drivetrain is the same thing, engine's the same thing. Interior is very much alike, except it kind of like resembles a all-wheel drive Mitsubishi Mirage, which I keep making fun of Adam with that stuff, but it's all jokes. It has not even the closest relation to a regular Mirage whatsoever. Very importantly, we're gonna be addressing a very common problem on these engines, and that is lifter tick. These engines are very common with having lifter issues, so today I'm going to show you guys how to fix this issue with the right product, and at the same time we're going to be also installing a very small part that's going to make a very big change in the durability and also longevity of this engine, which another not so common but also part that sometimes fails on these engines, and it could cause very catastrophic engine failure. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, here in my hands I have two very important products that we're going to be using. First is GSC Power Division Zero Tick lifters. So the stock lifters, apparently the oiling ports and bleeding ports are kind of like mix and match, so different generations for your 63 engines fix it, some other ones gave other problems. So the solution lies right here in my hand. GSC Power Division made their ultimate zero tick lifters, which I put on every 4063 engine, and it gets rid of your lifter issues, getting stuck or making noise, whatever. This solves the issue. And then on my other hand, I have the BLE solid timing chain tensioners. The stock tensioner is hydraulic, and on some of these engines they tend to fail. So what happens is that the tensioner collapses the hydraulic cylinder and it just literally squishes in. You jump timing. This is not a zero interference engine, this is an interference engine. So if you jump timing, that means you're gonna bend all the valves, possibly smash your pistons, and just literally trash your engine. So this little piece right here is gonna help avoid that issue, and this little piece right here is going to avoid all the lifter issues and make the engine sound like a brand new car. Let's see what we got going on down here. This is a 2-liter 463 engine. It's factory turbocharged, all-wheel drive. Right now it doesn't look stock anymore. The engine was basically stock when we got the car, but I already installed a Turbo Smart 50/50 blow valve, so it's pretty much a recirculating blow valve, and the other side has another port with a horn in it. So this blow valve recirculates half the amount of air being released back into the intake, and the other half pretty much vent into the atmosphere. So you get the cool blow valve sound, but at the same time not having the stall effect or having a vent to atmosphere blow valve when you have a MAF sensor type of engine. We put an EVO 9 10.5 turbo on this, so it's a 16G G6C turbo, so you can see that part number on the turbo housing itself, and then it's a lot bigger, so we have to get a little custom oiling and waterline kit the atom gas, so it's all nice and shiny. I also put a cone filter on it. It's a nice AM unit, so now you can actually hear the turbo spool. And I also adjusted the blowhole a little bit on the stiff side, so you can have a little bit of flutter, but also enough to actually knock off the turbo to surge too bad. Yesterday we also upgraded the injectors to some Detroit 1200cc injectors, so this car, it's pretty much ready for E85, but it's not gonna be running E85, so we're gonna run it on 93, and it's making quite a decent amount of power right now. But today we're going to upgrade the engine stuff so it actually be able to handle this power a lot better. Here's a quick little rundown on what a turbo looks like. You can see it's a brand new EVO 9 turbo, brand new lines, everything's put there, all the heat shields are on, so it looks almost OEM, which is basically is OEM. And then it has a HKS intercooler, so HKS piping, HKS front mount. Intake tube still the same, but we're planning on removing the battery and running an EVO 8, EVO 9 style intake on this, so the filter will pretty much be where the battery is, and we're just probably gonna end up putting the battery in the trunk at some point. Timing belt has already been upgraded on this. I still have not taken the cover off, so I want to see if it's nice and blue. It already has a blue serpentine belt on there, so it looks pretty cool. But today we're gonna be removing valve cover, the front covers, crank pulley, everything in the front of the engine, which is gonna be kinda tricky, but I'll show you guys how it's done. And then other than that, tensioner goes down there somewhere. I'll show you guys later. Lifters go in here. Oh, I almost forgot. I put an Innovate SCG1 boost controller, so you can see it has a nice 4-bar map sensor. I put the boost controller solenoid over here out of the heat and talking to the firewall, since I'm still not sure what's gonna happen here. I put it all the way over there. And then, yes, after the intake's done, it's gonna clear a bunch of room over here. Need to start by removing some of the components here in front of the timing belt. AC line bracket has to be removed, so I can like move the AC line like to the side and have some work room over here. The power steering line down here too, so I want to remove that as well. Now I'm going to remove the upper timing belt cover. Well, it looks like this car is not running a Grady, but it's actually in fact running an HKS timing belt. You can tell by the super nice purple color. Kind of reminds me of a certain car, don't it? Now that I have the front cover removed, I want to go ahead and spin the engine into top dead center so I can align the camshafts on top dead center with these marks right here. So there's a little tiny mark here, tiny mark right here, and the sprockets are gonna have also marks on them, which I think it's down here. I can't really see it very well. I'm just gonna spin the engine into top dead center and look for it. Then I also have a nice little tool that I'll show you guys in a little bit. But to spin the engine, I'm gonna have to take the front driver's side wheel in this case, so I can get to the crank pulley. Here we have the engine in top dead center. You can see this mark right here goes with this mark, and then the intake cam, the same thing. And then down here, top dead center is marked by a little mark over here. Can't really see, I have no light, I'm sorry guys, but I'll show you guys in a little bit. Then this is a really cool thing about the 4063, that to remove the timing stuff, you don't have to actually take the crankshaft sprocket off. You just take these 4 bolts, damper pulley comes off, the sprocket stays in place, and you can remove all the covers. So next thing we're gonna do is actually to remove the serpentine belt to be able to gain access to the rest of this part and remove this crank pulley. Or should I say damper pulley, because the crank pulley is the one that's staying in the car, not the one being removed. This is one of the super PETA parts, so I'm not recording this. It's a lot of stuff going on. I have to remove the engine mount, water pump pulley. I'm taking all the stuff. I took the serpentine belt off, taking all the bolts from the front cover. This is really hard to film stuff, so I'm gonna get all this done, then I can continue with the video. We finally reached the fun part. As you can see, there's something interesting going on here. This is a tool that they sell so you can hold the 4G63 camshafts in place. That way they don't move when you remove the timing belt or the tensioner, so you don't skip timing. Also, a very useful tool to use once you're gonna put everything back together. Just line up bottom the center, line up the cams here, put this thing on, it holds the cams in place while you position the belt. Now let's go underneath and see what we're looking at here. You can see the crankshaft here. Then this is a balance shaft, also the gear that moves the oil pump. Then you also have another balance shaft all the way up here, and you also have a tensioner / idler pulley for that as well. This is a stock hydraulic timing belt tensioner that we're gonna replace with the new BLE solid unit. So I'm going to remove these 2 bolts, then it allows me to remove the timing belt. Now I should be able to just remove the timing belt. Let's see. No, I still can't do it. I gotta remove it from the bottom here. There we go. Aha! HKS. Now that that is done and out of the way, the rest of the work continues up here. I need to remove all these sensors. So I have crank sensor, I have O2 sensor, I have to remove the coils, vacuum line, PCV valve, harness bolts, and then remove the valve cover to gain access to the camshafts. Then I have to remove camshafts, then lifters and rocker arms. I forgot to mention to you guys that this car is also equipped with GSC Power Division S2 274 camshafts. These are really nice billet full CNC camshaft, looks super hot. And also it's equipped with GSC Power Division Beehive valve spring with titanium retainers. The next step on this is I'm gonna have to drain a little bit of the coolant. I have to remove the upper radiator hose. I need to remove this part here where the camshaft sensor goes. So it has this little cap with 3 bolts. It has a trigger wheel back here. It's like a little Hall effect sensor with this. After that, I can remove the camshaft cap bolts and then remove the camshafts. Then after I get the camshafts off, I can take the rocker arms and I can finally access the lifters. With the coolant hose out of the way, now I can access that plate. I can remove these 3 little bolts and access the Hall effect plate. The plate has been removed. Now you can see I got this Hall effect wheel. Now I gotta remove that bolt. Then I can remove this thing from here and then remove the camshaft. The plate is finally gone. Now that gives us access for the camshaft caps. And now let's get to that so we can remove the camshafts finally. Guys, I have a little bit of a problem. The EVO was supposed to have ARP head studs, and it's not. It definitely does not have head studs on there. It has factory bolts. So now the problem is I'm gonna be able to replace the lifters, but I won't be able to close the engine back up since it's Sunday and nothing's open. So I cannot get studs for this thing. So we're gonna have to order those. It's very important to use ARP head studs on these engines, especially if you're running a higher boost than stock, because that increases the cylinder pressure and it pushes up on the head, so you need to be able to hold the head down so you don't blow the head gasket. So I guess I'm gonna have to just replace the lifters. I'll show you guys how to do that and how to properly install them without causing catastrophic damage, especially when it comes to the bleeding part, which it might sound weird, but these lifters, you have to bleed them down instead of actually filling them up with oil. Why? Because the lifters actually can extend more than a normal lifter, and the valve will actually not close and it will hit the piston. Alright, here we have the Power Division zero-tick lifters. You can see on this corner, zero-tick lifters must be bled down before installation. They already come like filled with oil, so you have to put them on, and then have this little hole on the top where you can stick either a paper clip or something very thin, and it presses the bleeder screw, the bleeder valve, and you can actually squish them down and release some of the oil out of it. Alright, let's get this head disassembled. The rocker arms pretty much just come right off. Just take them off from the lifter and the valves. They can be put wherever you want, so they're not like measured or anything. You can put them in any spot. Exhaust and intake are both the same. Just make sure you don't get them dirty while you service them. Then the lifter should pretty much just pop right off like this. So they're very oily and slick, so it's kind of hard to get a grip on them. Alright guys, let's talk about the differences between these two lifters. This one right here is a GSC Power Division zero-tick lifter. This one is the OEM one. You can already tell that the orifice where oil feeds into the lifter on the GSC Power Division one is a lot bigger than the factory one. Then on top, the bleeder port is about the same size, except this one seems to be a little beefier than the stock unit, so it handles a lot more abuse. So yeah, this is a lifter you want to go with when you want to go all out with your 4G63. Alright guys, very importantly, on lifter, I already bleed down one. As you can see, they're primed, so they're stiff. What you do, you take like a little stick like this. In this case, I'm using a 2mm Allen T handle style wrench. I'm literally just gonna press on it. If you press on it, you hit the valve, and you can press down the piston, and now your lifter is squishy, so it's bled down. Then once you start the car, it has to bleed and adjust the lash, so it's gonna sound like really ugly for like a minute or so, and then it's gonna like bleed the lifters to the right height, and then you won't have any issues. If you try to run this engine with the lifters all the way primed, you are going to bend the valves and cause catastrophic engine damage, so make sure you bleed them down before putting the camshafts back in. It kind of sucks having to cut this video short, but without head studs, I can't go on with the build, so I'm gonna get them first thing tomorrow and then be able to put the rest of the cams, and then I can put the rocker arms, the camshafts, put the valve cover back on, get this thing going, do the timing, and then a few other things that I'm gonna be doing to the engine, which I'll probably show you in tomorrow's video. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. Please smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome content. There's gonna be a couple cool videos with this little thing back here, and then some with that one. I don't think there's any videos with that one, but there's some with that one for sure. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Lover, what's holding you down? I ain't